A football fan once dedicated his obit to insulting an NFL team. The woman who holds the world record for most prolific mother has 69 kids, and a man actually changed his name because he lost a bet. We'll have you rethinking everything you thought you knew for sure. Welcome to another episode of 30 Weird Fun Facts. Subscribe our channel to stay connected. So, without wasting any more time, let's get started with Number 1. The wealthiest cat in the world enjoyed a fortune of almost $13 million. The world's wealthiest cat ever recorded was Blackie, the last surviving of millionaire antiques dealer Ben Ria's 15 felines, to whom he left his £7 million fortune in 1988. The odd benefaction was made out of spite. The reclusive Ria did not recognize any members of his own family, and the money was left to 3 cat charities, with the instruction that they ensure that one of the only individuals he could trust was looked after following his death. Number 2. Canada's national parks are bigger than many countries. Canada is famous for its abundant natural landscape and stunning scenery, but it may surprise you to find out that the Northern Lands National Parks are so massive that they're actually bigger than the total area of many other countries. For instance, either Albania or Israel could fit inside the 11,602 square miles that make up the Nahanni National Park Reserve in the Northwest Territories. Denmark or Switzerland could fit inside the 17,300 square mile Wood Buffalo National Park, which reaches into both Alberta and the Northwest Territories. Number 3. It's illegal to kill Bigfoot in British Columbia. We still don't have any definitive proof that Sasquatch is out there, but if you do happen to come across one, while you're in Canada, you may not kill it. It has long been rumored that a previous governor of British Columbia declared that killing a Sasquatch is illegal, according to British Columbia magazine. The magazine notes that the laws of British Columbia do declare that wildlife is owned by the government and can't be hunted without a specific license. For your own protection, it's probably best to let Bigfoot go if he crosses your path. Number 4. In Back to the Future, the time machine was originally an old fridge. When you watch 1985's Back to the Future, you'll see that the main character, Michael J. Fox, travels back to the 50s in a DeLorean car that's been turned into a time machine. And while the DeLorean became a signature part of the film, we have to wonder what the movie would have been like if the producers had gone with their original concept, which was to make the time machine an old refrigerator. According to HuffPost, ultimately, it was determined that it probably was not a good idea to use a refrigerator in such a manner, as kids might want to reenact the scene. Parents everywhere are grateful. Number 5. Spicy food can cut down fat intake. Consuming spices has been found to help cut down on how much fat you take in. A study by researchers at Pennsylvania State University concluded that adding significant amounts of turmeric, black pepper, or cinnamon to a fatty meal impedes the amount of triglyceride, bad fat that increases the risk of heart disease, taken into the blood by as much as 30%. Number 6. Danes once bred a pig to look like the flag. In the early 20th century, those who resided in North Frisia under Prussian rule were not allowed to raise the Danish flag. But some crafty North Frisians took action by breeding a pig, known as the Danish protest pig, to be red in color with a large white stripe around its belly, thus creating an animal version of the flag. As they technically did not break the law, and because it wouldn't have been feasible to ban the breeding of pigs, the Danes successfully protested Prussia. Number 7. You'll spend almost 9 years looking at your phones throughout your lifetime. According to a recent survey, the average person spends over 76,500 hours on their smartphone throughout their lifetime. That's a whopping 8.74 years, just think about it. All those texts, memes, and late-night scrolls adding up to almost a decade of screen time. It's a mind-boggling reminder of how technology has woven itself into the very fabric of our lives. Number 8. New Zealanders have more pets per household than any other country. People who live in New Zealand seem to love having at least one animal companion around. That's why 68% of households in the country have a pet, which is more than any other nation in the world. Americans also happen to love furry friends, which is why more than half of all US homes have either a dog or cat, or both. Number 9. The woman who holds the world record for most prolific mother has 69 kids. According to the Guinness World Records, Mrs. Vasilyeva of Russia birthed more children than any other mother to date. The case was reported to Moscow by the monastery of Nikolsk on February 27, 1782, asserting that Vasilyeva had given birth to 16 pairs of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets. Number 10. Flowers like Viagra. Imagine giving your bouquet a little pick-me-up with a tiny dose of Viagra. According to an intriguing study by Israeli and Australian researchers, adding just a smidgen of the famous blue pill to your vase water can keep flowers standing tall and vibrant for up to a week longer than usual. Who knew that a medication designed for humans could also work wonders for your wilting blooms? Number 11. No country is allowed to own the moon. The Outer Space Treaty, formerly known as the Treaty on Principles Governing the Activities of States in the Exploration and Use of Outer Space, including the Moon and other celestial bodies, ratified in 1967, prohibits any country from claiming sovereignty over the Moon or any other celestial bodies, and from placing nuclear weapons or other WMDs on them. Number 12. Bananas make great water filters. Speaking of bananas, their peels could actually replace your Brita in a pinch. A chemist studying the environment in Brazil found the peel's contents of nitrogen, sulfur, and carboxylic acids effectively attached to copper and lead deposits found in polluted waters near industrial plants in the country. When he placed a lot of dried peels into Brazil's Paraná River, they worked better at reducing the levels of heavy metal than all other filtering materials more typically used. Number 13. Bees sometimes sting other bees. Bees are notorious for their stings, but humans aren't the only ones who experience this pain in the neck, or the arm, or the leg. In protecting their hives from outsiders, some guard bees will stay by the entrance and sniff the bees that come in, says Marianne Pesso from the biology department of Macquarie University. If there's a rogue bee from another hive trying to steal some nectar, the guard bee will bite and even sting the intruder. Number 14. Women's tears reduce men's testosterone levels. As it turns out, tears are a big turnoff. A study had men sniff drops of women's emotional tears and a neutral saline solution. Those who sniffed the tears became less aroused. As one of the researchers told the New York Times, basically what we found is the chemo-signaling word for no, or at least not now. Number 15. Blood donors in Sweden receive a text when their blood is used. To encourage more young people to donate blood, Sahlgrenska University Hospital in Gothenburg, Sweden, sends a text to donors when their blood has been dispensed to someone in need. A common issue with blood donation, along with other types of charitable donations, is that if a donor doesn't know the recipient, it's harder to convince them that donating is worth it. But with this system, which started in 2012, potential donors in Sweden have proof that their contribution is going to good use. Number 16. A coffee pioneer was buried in a coffee pot. Renato Bialetti, the guy who popularized the stovetop, octagonal espresso maker that still bears his name, asked that his remains be buried in the receptacle that was most important to him in life. When he died in 2016 at the age of 93, his ashes were placed in one of his pots and buried next to his late wife. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button so you make sure to never miss our videos. Number 17. Yard work has killed almost 6,000 people in the past decade. Imagine this. Your peaceful Saturday afternoon of trimming hedges and mowing the lawn might be more perilous than you think. In the past decade, over 3.2 million people have found themselves in the ER due to yard work mishaps, with nearly 6,000 of these cases ending in tragedy. It turns out, those seemingly innocent tools in your shed can pack a dangerous punch. From falling off ladders to unexpected equipment malfunctions, yard work has proven to be riskier than most of us realize. Next time you grab those gardening gloves, remember, caution might just be your best friend. Number 18. Dogs do not feel guilt. Your dog averts his eyes and adopts a submissive posture after you catch him chewing something he's not supposed to. That means he knows that he's done something wrong and is sorry for it, right? Well, probably not, scientists say. It's more likely that the behaviors that owners associate with a dog's guilt are their reaction to being scolded, per the American Kennel Club. They simply don't think as deeply about their transgression as you do. Number 19. A football fan once dedicated his obit to insulting an NFL team. Imagine being such a devoted football fan that even in your final farewell, you can't resist one last jab at your beloved team. That's exactly what one lifelong Cleveland Browns fan did. In his obituary, he requested 6 Cleveland Browns pallbearers to carry his casket. Why? So, as he cleverly put it, the Browns can let him down one last time. Ouch. Talk about dedication to humor, even beyond the grave. This ultimate burn shows just how deep the love-hate relationship with sports can run. What team would you take to the afterlife? Number 20. Vegetables can make you tan. Eating veggies has plenty of health benefits, but it also has cosmetic ones, according to researchers at Leeds University and the University at St. Andrews. They found that those who consumed vegetables with high levels of red and yellow pigments had a healthy yellow glow compared to those who did not. This is due to a process called carotenoid colorization. Number 21. The ampersand used to be the 27th letter of the alphabet, a combination of the cursive letters for E and T, forming the Latin word eat, meaning and. The ampersand symbol was for decades included in the alphabet, after Z. It didn't get its official name until 1837. Number 22. Cards Against Humanity bought an island and called it Hawaii, too. The people behind Cards Against Humanity, the game responsible for hours of fun with your family and friends, are the founders of Hawaii 2, a private island in the middle of Maine. During their 2014 holiday promotion, the company aimed to raise money for charity by encouraging participants to spend $15 to buy a package that included, among other things, 1 square foot of the island. In 2015, the company announced that the 250,000 folks who contributed would receive a deed, a map, and a small flag to recognize their partial ownership. Number 23. Walmart has a lower acceptance rate than Harvard. Harvard might be hard to get into with a 4.5% admittance rate, but try this on for size. Only 2.6% of Walmart applicants are accepted. How about them apples? Now, we realize that this comparison isn't exactly flawless, but you have to admit that it's a fun fact. Number 24. You poop out the equivalent of an adult panda bear each year. Yes, you heard that correctly. In a year, a single person yields about 320 pounds of poop, just a little more than a typical adult panda weighs. And those stats get even wilder when you apply them to what you produce over an average lifetime. Let's say you live until just over 80 years old. That means you'll produce about 25,920 pounds of waste throughout that stretch, or the equivalent of 3 adult male hippos. Number 25. Someone actually paid $10,000 for invisible artwork. An art collector once paid $10,000 for a non-visible sculpture created by actor James Franco. The artwork was billed as an endless tank of oxygen. Yeah, it's called air. We're breathing some now, for free. Number 26. You can hire scary clowns to terrify children. In Switzerland, you can actually hire a scary clown to stalk your child in the days leading up to their birthday, building suspense and dread. On the big day, this unsettling clown appears out of nowhere, delivering an eerie cake smash right to your kid's face. It's the ultimate prank for thrill-seeking families, turning an ordinary birthday into a spine-chilling event. Forget friendly clowns. This one brings your nightmares to life in the most unexpected way. Number 27. Dogs don't like hugs. Animal psychologists say dogs can be stressed and unhappy when they are hugged because they see having a limb thrown over them as a sign of dominance. According to the American Kennel Club, they'll convey that stress by licking their lips, looking away, or folding their ears. So go for a belly rub over an embrace whenever you want to show your pet some love. Number 28. A man actually changed his name because he lost a bet. After losing a drunken poker bet in 2009, a New Zealand man had his name legally changed to Full Metal Havoc, more sexy and intelligent than Spock and all the superheroes combined with Frostnova. It took 5 years, but the name was finally approved by the government. All 99 characters of his new name are on his passport. Number 29. Orange snow falls over Eastern Europe. Those dreaming of something other than a white Christmas might want to check out the Russian city of Sochi. Back in May, visitors began posting photos to Instagram of otherworldly orange snow on the mountains. Meteorologists attributed the phenomenon to sand and dust that had been kicked up by storms in Africa. The deep-tinged snow also fell over parts of Bulgaria, Ukraine, Romania, Moldova, and Greece. The Athens Observatory was quoted by CNN as saying that it was one of the largest transfers of desert sand to Greece from the Sahara ever. Number 30. Dog lick causes serious health crisis. This is not really a fun fact. Dog owners tell themselves their pets would never do anything to intentionally harm them. Unfortunately, a Wisconsin man named Greg Manteuffel learned the hard way that he probably shouldn't have let his best friend lick him too much. After being admitted to a hospital, Manteuffel was found to be suffering from an infection by a bacteria called Capnocytophaga, which led to the amputation of his legs and parts of his arms. The bacteria live in most household pets without causing problems, but if they get passed to a human via a bite or scratch and spread through a person's bloodstream, they can cause deadly consequences. Dr. Sylvia Munoz-Price, an infectious disease specialist, told Live Science that the case is extremely rare. More than 99% of the people that have dogs will never have this issue. It's just chance, she said. That's all for today. Subscribe to our channel for more fun videos.